Hey, you guys made it. You guys are here. I'm glad you're here this morning. I want to let you guys know that today is day 6 and we are going to jump right into it. The Green Goblin. We just left off with Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and just fitting that we go back into the Green Goblin as a villain, actually. So here's a super villain snapshot. His real name is Norman Osborn. His home is New York City. He's created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and his special powers and abilities are endowed by the Goblin formula with superhuman strength, endurance, reaction time, and greater intelligence. Weaponry includes armored costume, goblin glider, and pumpkin bombs. That's awesome. Pumpkin bombs. Who wouldn't like those? Norman Osborn is the perfect example of greed. And what does that mean to be greedy? Is it just about money, or does it go deeper than that? Greed ultimately transformed scientist Norman Osborn into the Green Goblin. His company, Oscorp, developed a superhuman soldier serum while working on a military contract. This development process consumed much of his company and his life. When the government forbids him from testing his serum on human beings, he tested on himself. His greed is motivated by fear. He is in danger of losing his company and his life's work. Osborn lets his greed make his decisions for him, and it leads to his downfall, and his selfishness guides him down an evil path, all because of greed. We're going to read from James chapter 1, verse 13 through 15. Will you guys turn there? James chapter 1, verse 13 through 15. And it says this: Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself does not tempt anyone. But each one is tempted when he is carried away and enticed by his own lust. Then, when lust is conceived, it gives birth to sin. And when sin is accomplished, it brings forth death. Norman was tempted to give into his greedy desires. Once he gave into the temptation, it birthed sin. And this sin transformed him to the Green Goblin, which eventually led to his death. He lost his life while in a fight with Spider-Man. Greed is not just about money. It's not just about money. We can be greedy in many areas in our life. In our relationships, indulging in bad habits, etc. If you feed your greed, you are placing yourself on a dangerous path. In what ways are you greedy? What are you going to do with your own greed, your own sin? Think about that. Greed leads, in James chapter 1, verse 13 through 15. What does it talk about greed? And think about that. And do you have any greed in your life? And how do you get that out? How do you stamp that out? Because when we often think of greed, we do really think about money. How do we get that out? Because it's not just about money. It's about our time, our talents. Those are things that we can be greedy with. So how do we improve our lives living for God's glory rather than for our own selves? Think about that. Pray about it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Talk to you later.